shadow of their own goalpost. What a throw by Piatkowski. Has some time, doesn't have anybody open. He's in pretty dangerous. Touchdown.
Welcome to a jam-packed house in Frankfurt tonight for a second-round 8A IHSA playoff game. It's Mt Carmel against Lincoln Way East. Hello, everybody. I'm Jim Blaney, along with Kenny McReynolds, and this is what the playoffs should be. Two powerhouse football teams that don't meet very often on the football field. In fact, Kenny, as near as we can tell, this is the first time they've ever met. Let's start out by talking about Mt Carmel. Let's go back a month into the season, Kenny. They were 2-2. They had just lost to St. Rita. They haven't lost since.
Yeah, they don't like to lose at Mt Carmel, Jim, as you know. They haven't lost since we saw them 6 weeks ago against St. Rita. They have really been piling on the points, averaging about 40 points per ball game.
And for the Lincoln Way East Griffins, certainly they don't have the tradition that Mt Carmel has, but Lincoln Way East, for the first time, they played varsity football. They've been in the state playoffs. They're back this year. They've only lost once this year. The team they lost to, Bolingbrook, and they're undefeated.
Well, Bolingbrook is undefeated. They've only lost their one game. They're 9-1. You talk about piling up points. This team, 63 a couple of games ago. They love to put points on the board.
The focus of this game will be on the two quarterbacks, but that is about where the similarities end. First of all, let's talk about Jordan Lynch. He's a threat, both passing and running.
Yeah, and one thing he does so well, he lets that big offensive line set their blocks, make the blocks. Jordan Lynch can beat you with his arms. He has passed for 15 touchdowns and 988 yards, but also he loves to run the ball, Jim. 12 rushing touchdowns on 539 yards rushing.
And for Lincoln Way East, their quarterback is Spencer Stanek. He's a classic drop-back, stay-in-the-pocket quarterback. He's very, very accurate, but Kenny, he's the kind of quarterback we love in high school. He's a 5'10", 175-pound kid that just makes plays.
Yeah, he makes plays, Jimmy. You're right. He gets in that pocket. He is so good when he gets time protection. Look at this passing. 1,667 yards. He's 113 out of 170, 15 touchdowns, but he does have 6 interceptions. But when he has to run, he can do it, as he has 6 rushing touchdowns.
Both of these teams are good enough to win an 8A state championship, but only one of them will advance after this game tonight. It's Mt Carmel against Lincoln Way East on the CN100 game of the week. We have the starting lineups and the opening kick coming up after this timeout.
You're watching the Comcast Network, CN100 Chicago. Comcast and the Chicago Slaughter are teaming up to bring you the hard-hitting action of arena football. CN100, the Comcast Network, is now the official home for Slaughter football. Kicking off March 2009. Visit the Sears Center to see head coach Steve McMichael lead the Slaughter into battle for the CIFL Championship. Then catch all the excitement again on Comcast Digital Channel 100 or Comcast On Demand. Order your tickets for this action-packed season by visiting ChicagoSlaughter.com.
Get it when you want it. It's CN100, now on demand from Comcast. Access all of our award-winning programs at the touch of a button. From an athlete's tackle to politicians tackling issues, it's entertainment you want and information you deserve. From across Chicagoland to the very heart of your community, it's CN100's original programming on demand from Comcast. Now, go get some.
Welcome back to Lincoln Way East High School tonight, a 8A second-round playoff matchup. It's Mt Carmel against Lincoln Way East. Coverage of tonight's game is sponsored by Comcast, digital cable with on-demand, high-speed internet with Power Boost, and reliable home phone service. Get all three great products on one convenient bill. Call 1-888-4BEST-TV and ask about the triple play. Jim Blaney along with Kenny McReynolds, and Eric Schmidt is down along the sidelines. Eric?
Thank you very much, Jim. I'll tell you what, I'm getting a little sick of hearing about the spread offense. It's what all the high schools, especially these past couple weeks, seem to be running. The 4 or 5 receiver sets. If you're in for a refreshing change, Mt Carmel, well, they run the option offense. Head coach Frank Lenti has been running it for 24 years. His version, well, relies on the run, but it also allows a quarterback like Jordan Lynch to be able to step back and throw the ball in the air when needed. Lincoln Way East, well, they've seen a couple variations of this offense this season, but none run with with the efficiency of Mount Carmel. Head coach Rob Vonar told me before the game that the key to defending it is really trusting what you've learned in practice during the week, as well as having the discipline to stay in your lanes. And guys, speaking of discipline, it might take all I can muster to not find a heater on the sideline today. Let's go back up to the warm press box with you.
Yes, and that is correct, Eric. And you bring up an interesting point, because this is something that Kenny and I talk about a lot during the course of the year, and that is that all these spread offenses and throwing it all over the field are wonderful. But then you get to this point of the year, second week of the playoffs, first weekend of November. What do we have? We have 36 degrees. We have 12-mile-an-hour winds, and the wind chill is 18, and trust me, that's exactly right. So you need to be able to run the football at this time of year, Kenny.
Yeah, because your quarterbacks are going to have a difficult time gripping the football. Downstairs, the wind is really whipping. 18-degree wind chill is extremely cold down there. It has to be difficult to just grip that football.
Mount Carmel won the toss. They deferred to the second half, so they will kick off. So Lincoln Way East at home will get the advantage of having the football first. Get a look at tonight's officials. The crew led by Octavio Herrera. They will be making all the calls tonight. Justin Whittle and Eric Sawicki are deep to receive for Lincoln Way East.
Boy, what a big crowd here tonight, Jim. Half an hour ago, there was no one in the stands. But right now, standing room only. They're on the fences. They told us they anticipate 8,000. You may have it tonight.
Kick is going with the wind, and it will be taken by Sawicki. He has it at the 2-yard line. Sawicki, he had a little room at the middle, couldn't quite get there, and he's brought down at the 27-yard line, making the tackle on special teams for Mount Carmel. One of their starters, Brent Butler, getting some time on the kick unit. Here's the offense for Lincoln Way East, and since the school has been open, they've had some big corn-fed linemen. Tyler Smith is the biggest, 6'4" and 270.
And also Kyle McCracken. Keep an eye on Kyle McCracken.
Kevin Stark is number 32. He's one of the running backs. He is back there with Stanek to get the game started. They will start in a spread. Stanek on first down and 10. Two-step drop. Nothing there. He's flushed out of the pocket. Keeps the play alive. He will go downfield. He has a man open, and that ball is incomplete. Just a little bit low, and diving to the turf and trying to make the catch was Greg Muntean.
Boy, I tell you, Jim, that was almost a tremendous catch by Muntean. Give the offensive line. We talked about the offensive line. Look at how much time he has. He's throwing it on the move, and then Muntean comes in and drops it, but there is a flag.
Flag down on the play. Boy, I'd like to get another look at that catch too, Kenny. That looked close.
Ineligible downfield on the offense. 5-yard penalty, repeat the down.
Well, that's what happens when your quarterback is scrambling around a lot. You have an lineman downfield more than 5 yards.
Mount Carmel will accept the penalty. They'll push the Griffins back. First down and 15 from the 23.
But see, back in the spread, this is what they like to do.
Stark goes in motion and changes sides. And Stark will get the handoff, and he goes nowhere. As a matter of fact, he is taken down back at the 20-yard line. Anthony Battle comes in from his defensive tackle position, runs Stark down from behind for a loss on the play. Here is the rest of the Mount Carmel offense. Adonis Filer, he's a sophomore. He has moved into the starting lineup. He is the younger brother of Steve Filer, and I'll tell you what, if you're going to name, I mean, Steve Filer was an Adonis. I mean, that guy was one of the best
really
high school football players ever seen. So Adonis, better back it up if you're going to have a name like that. He's a good football player, getting more and more time, and now he's in the starting lineup.
What a play there, Jim, by Anthony Battle, how quick he was off the ball.
Second down and 13. Stanek rolling out. He's in trouble. He gets away at the 10, stays alive. Plants delivers the football, has a completion out to the 35-yard line, but it looks like Kevin Stark is going to be short of the first down. Flag comes in late, so hold on.
And that was really a late flag.
Now remember, Stanek is a pocket passer, but what he has shown early on is he's shown his ability to get away.
And here's his ability to get away here, Jim. You see there's nothing there. He's in the pocket, rolling out. He goes rolling, nothing there, but it's going to be just a little bit short, but the penalty is going to go against Mount Carmel. So we'll have a first down for Lincoln Way East.
And it's a big penalty, too. It's a personal foul against Mount Carmel, so the ball comes all the way to the Mount Carmel 48-yard line.
Well, that flag really came late.
The Lincoln Way East offensive line has had some fits, though, here in the early going. Kyle Muntean is the lone back right now. It's a double wing formation. Stanek with the handoff. Bouncing off of the tackle is Whittle, and he'll maybe get a yard down to the 47-yard line. Ball's in the turf. There's a scramble going on for the ball. The Griffins say they have it. The Carmel Caravan say they have it. The referee says no, he was down.
Down by contact.
It stays in the possession of the Lincoln Way East Griffins.
And you can see Jeremy Johnson comes up with the football, but the official, as Johnson still holding on to the ball, but they're going to say he's down by contact. Let's see if we can pick it up. Here it is again. And you can see Johnson right there brings him down, and the ball squirts out right there.
The ruling was that his knee
was down.
No, and now they've changed it. Mount Carmel has the football. Wow.
Well, Johnson was right there. I thought they were going to say that he did it with the knee down.
That's what the discussion was, Kenny. The discussion in the original call was that his knee was down, and then he got back up and the ball came out. That's what the discussion was. And the referees decided his knee did not come down. Wow. You know what? His knee looks like it's down, but I'm telling you what, I can't tell if it is exactly on the ground. Anyway, the Mount Carmel offense on the field, 1st and 10 from their own 48-yard line. Jordan Lynch at the controls of the Caravan. He's on his way to Northern Illinois next year. Lynch keeps, and he'll carry down to the Lincoln Way East 45-yard line. Gain of 7 on the play. Brings up 2nd down and 3.
Well, as we talked about in the open, Jim, we know Lynch loves to run. They run that option offense behind this outstanding offensive line.
Milton Greer had a huge game last week in the opening round against Naperville Central, so watch for him as well. They have very talented running backs, although it's Lynch that gets most of the attention. He's got some pretty good receivers, too. Brett Kapchak, number 88, being one of them. 2nd down and 3 for Mount Carmel. Lynch, keeper, turns upfield, has a 1st down, and he spins inside the 40 down to the 39-yard line. So Mount Carmel picks up their first down of the game. George Pattison, the inside linebacker, making the tackle.
Well, how quick is Lynch, Jim? Did you notice he takes that little step to the left side to get up to make sure he gets that 1st down? Quick feet.
And you look at the Lincoln Way East defense, pretty decent size along the defensive line as well. Very, very quick. 1st and 10. Lynch, hands off. This is Greer, and he maybe got a yard out of that. We'll credit him with a yard, and it will be 2nd down and 9.
Boy, a tough yard at that. If he picked up a yard, Jim, it was a tough yard. Wasn't much there, but this offensive line of Mount Carmel, they have been doing a great job so far early in the 1st quarter. But when you have Lynch back there, it's like having 3 running backs because he is so quick and he runs that option so well.
And he does throw it very, very well, too. I'll tell you what, based on the offense they run at Northern Illinois, I think Jordan Lynch has made a good choice. He's verbally committed. Of course, signing date has not come up until February. Lynch will bring it to the near side this time. He turns it inside. He's across the 30-yard line. Using his blocking, he's down to the 15, trying to go down the sideline, and he's finally taken out of bounds inside the 10-yard line. Ezra Thompson, the free safety, coming from all the way across the field to make the tackle, and Mount Carmel knocking on the door with 8:32 remaining in the 1st quarter.
But I tell you what, though, Andrew Rosner, as soon as the ball was snapped, made a great block to open this up, Jim, going down the left side. And we talked about Lynch and his speed and quickness. Rosner makes the great block to open the hole, and then Lynch is off to the races.
33 yards on that carry. See if Stanford and Greer maybe take over down here. Lynch has it underneath center. Lynch pitches. This is Greer. He'll turn it up. Touchdown, Mount Carmel. The Caravan, they have the ball. Once they take it in and score, 6-0 Caravan.
Well, we talked about their running game. They run the option so well. We talked about that offensive line as Greer virtually walks in untouched. Great job of blocking by the offensive line this entire series for the Caravan.
Remember at the beginning of the season, Mount Carmel was ranked #1 by some people, and Frank Lenti was scratching his head saying, we lost almost everybody from last year. How can we be #1? And the way they started out the year 2-2, you thought, okay, Frank was right, but that drive was very, very impressive. And now for the extra point. And this is going to be a key portion of the game. I will tell you, the Lincoln Way East kicking game appears to be better than Mt Carmel's, but that one right through, no problem for the Caravan, and right away, they lead it by a score of 7-0 after Nico Rodriguez converts the extra point.
Well, on paper, the Griffins' kicking game may look better, Jim, but there was absolutely nothing wrong with that point after touchdown.
If you score touchdowns, it really doesn't make a difference, does it?
Boy, what a great job of running that option. Waits to the last minute, just before he's hit. He pitches it back to Greer. Here's another angle. Now, as everybody's coming, Greer gets to the outside. You're not going to catch him. Great speed, great play by the Caravan of Mount Carmel.
After the fumble recovery, 52 yards in 5 plays. And Mount Carmel ahead 7-0. And the thing, I don't care what level of football it is, the thing you cannot do is turn the football over. And that's what Lincoln Way East did. The Caravan make them pay.
Took 2 minutes and 15 seconds off the clock. And when Greer's out there one-on-one, he just walked around the big defensive lineman, Austin Copley.
So Wiki and Whittle are deep to receive the kick once again. It is Rodriguez who will kick off. And Rodriguez is kicking with the win. Rodriguez got his opening kick of the game down to the 3-yard line. And this one is a little lower, and it's going to go into the end zone. Sawicki grabs it, and that'll be a touchback. 1st and 10 for Lincoln Way East from their 20. Postseason coverage continues on CN100 as Game of the Week brings you quarterfinal action. Tune into CN100 on Saturday, November 15th at noon to see who advances further down the road to Champaign. For game matchups plus additional air dates and times, visit CN100.tv, and you don't want to miss any of that because I'm telling you what, Kenny, this is the deepest field I've seen in the high school playoffs in quite a few years. There's a lot of good teams.
What a time of year. And catch all the great action right here on CN100.
Stanek in the shotgun once again. Stark will readjust. The Mount Carmel defensive line was very active. Stanek, he'll keep it, wants to turn it up. Nothing there. Maybe got a yard on the play. Was tripped up as he tried to turn it up. And the tackle was made by Nathan Alley, the nose tackle.
And Nathan Alley showed a great job of pursuit there, Jim, going over to his right. The defensive line, we talked about the offensive line early in the first quarter for the Caravan, but this defensive line so far has been absolutely wonderful.
7:40 remaining in the first quarter. Mount Carmel on top. They lead it 7-0. It was a loss of 1 on that play, so it will be 2nd down and 11. And Lincoln Way East going with a tighter formation this time. Whittle is in the backfield. He will get the carry. Doesn't have anywhere to go. Tries to cut back up the middle. Nice job, and he's free. Whittle comes across the 50. There is a flag down. Whittle in a race to the end zone. Whittle is to the 20. He cuts back to the outside, and he will get into the end zone. But remember, there's a flag line down in the field at the 15-yard line. 81 yards. Will it count? Well, and the referee is staying, and he's calling holding against Lincoln Way East.
And I saw
it will come back.
Yep. I saw it in the backfield.
And the full house of Lincoln Way East supporters, they don't like the call.
Yep, but
to say the least.
I saw it from up here, Jim. It was a hold.
That's the Mount Carmel sideline. They're relieved.
Well, 81 yards. Bring it back.
When the referee watches the whole play go down the field and he just stands there, you know it's coming back.
Coach is yelling at.
So you'll bring that one back.
And usually when the play goes that far downfield, it takes a little while to get everybody set back to where you were. Here's the call.
Holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty, repeat the down.
So bring it back.
And that puts the ball down on the 8-yard line, 2nd and 22.
And you don't like to have penalties like that when you wipe out an 81-yard touchdown against such an outstanding team like Mount Carmel. Every time you have an opportunity to score, you have to take advantage of it, Jim.
That was a great run by Whittle, by the way.
Oh, outstanding run.
Evans and Muntean are wide to the right. Stanek. And he will hand off, and just not a lot of room running the football. That'll be a gain of about 3 out to the 11-yard line. Carry was by Stark.
Well, you knew if they put their ball back on the ground that the Caravan's defense was not going to let you get another long yard to pick up there. Jeremy Johnson was in on his stop.
Bring up 3rd down and 18. And what we have seen so far is on passing downs, Mt Carmel has really brought it against Stanek.
And at this part of the field, I wouldn't be surprised if they come again.
Stanek in the shotgun. He'll roll the pocket to try and buy some time. He steps up, he throws. He has Muntean down the sideline, completed the 40. Muntean will carry it into Mt Carmel territory. He was taken down by Barcelona, but a beautiful throw, and that's what we were talking about with Stanek. That throw was right on the money.
Boy, that throw was right on the money. And look, he rolls out, and he just steps right up into it. And then Muntean gets behind the defense, and boy, you know what, Jim? He had to actually stop and reach back and pick up that football. Boy,
39 yards in that completion, Kenny.
Jimmy, if he leads him, that's 6, because he had his man beat.
A huge play on 3rd down and long for Lincoln Way East. Shotgun again for Stanek. Muntean is in the slot to the right this time. And the handoff will go to Stark. He'll take it back up the middle, and he'll carry it all the way down to the Mt Carmel 41 for a gain of 7 on the play. 2nd down and 3 coming up.
Well, see, Jim, he'll go up the middle, then he'll bounce, hit rather to his own man, then he bounces out to the right side to pick up some more yardage after he runs into and bounces off his offensive lineman.
Demetrius Carr making the tackle on that play. Boy, how much life and bounce did that last long play give to Lincoln Way East? Sawicki is in the slot to the left. Stark readjusts again. And we have all sorts of movement. And Stanek is pleading the case that the Mt Carmel guys went first, but I have a funny feeling he's not going to win this one.
I think it was going to go against the Griffins.
False start on the offense, 5-yard penalty, repeat the down.
Yeah, because the person who got called was Stark.
Right.
Because he was lined up in the backfield and took a step toward the line of scrimmage, and that's the reason why that was called. So they'll try it again now on 2nd down and 8 for the Mt Carmel 46. Stanek, he's going to look at a blitz. He gets away for the moment, does the John Elway reverse pivot, stays alive, puts his hand down on the ground. He's still alive, and now he has blocking and a run it. Carries across the 40. Stanek has a 1st down. He'll hop out of bounds the 35-yard line. What a play.
Boy, what a play. He saw Barcelona coming in on the blitz. Hit it again. Now, he sees the blitz right there. See Barcelona coming in on the blitz. So he does the reverse. Then he comes back and says, whoops, excuse me, sir. I'll go. But see, he doesn't put his knee down. His hand goes down, but not his knee. So he goes out again to the right side for the 1st down.
Trust me, folks, Stanek has been good this year because he's been willing to stay in the pocket and find receivers. And we have a flag on the field, but he's doing a great job of scrambling
Sideline
tonight.
warning on the defense.
Oh, get back guy.
Got to get that get back guy going over there.
Get back. Well, see, they'll call that more in the state playoffs.
Yeah, they don't mess around
They don't,
with that.
you know,
they usually warn one team early, and it takes care of both teams for the rest of the night.
In the regular season, you very seldom see that call.
Wide side of the field is to the left. Sawicki is lined up to the left. Stanek spreading it out, but this time Stark will run it, bounces it down the line, and he'll pick up about 3 yards down to the 32-yard line. And he was driven out of bounds on the play by Jeremy Johnson.
Boy, Lincoln Way East, you're right, Jim. After having that 81-yard touchdown call back,
right?
But I think they probably said, look, we can do this against this great Mt Carmel team, because now you just look at the way they're stepping. You know, they just look like they're lively out there now. They are really ready tonight. At least in this drive, they look like a different ball club.
And file this away for later on, because the Mt Carmel defensive line has done a good job so far, but they've chased Stanek around a lot. And if you do that for a long time, it starts to wear on you. Quick pass. Stanek has it complete. Sawicki has a 1st down, and he goes down the sideline, finally taken out of bounds inside the 20, and a flag comes down late.
Another late flag. We've had a couple of late calls tonight.
And that is usually for a late hit out of bounds, and you see a flag come in like that.
5-yard face mask on the defense, tacked on at the end of the run.
Inches Lincoln Way East a little closer to the Mt Carmel goal line.
Here you swing it out. Let's see if we can pick up the face mask. Right there.
Right there.
Right there.
Yep. first down, or let's check that. Should be first down and 10 from the 15, and it is. First and 10 from the 15-yard line for Lincoln Way East. And the Griffins will take some time and talk it over as we get a timeout called in the field.
And why not? If you're not sure, you have 3 timeouts, let's take it.
Mount Carmel calling the timeout. That'll leave them with 2.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at the Lincoln Way East schedule. You know what? This is what I love, Kenny. They open up. Providence and Lincoln Way East has become a great matchup between 2 schools that are very close together in a short amount of time. Lincoln Way North, their first year of varsity football. Then Homewood Flossmoor opened people's eyes about this team. They started rolling, took out Lincoln Way Central. The only game they lost was to Bolingbrook. They lost that by 10, and then they hammered Waubonsie Valley on Halloween night last week to get their opening win of the postseason. This is just what the job they have done here at Lincoln Way East is the example for every school that opens up around the state, because this is the only school that, pardon the term, they're the only expansion team to ever make the IHSA football playoffs. They did it in their first year playing varsity football. No one else has ever done it. And then a few years after that, they won a state championship. So they built this program quickly, and it's been good since the word go. First down and 10 from the 15. Stanek directs a little traffic, and he'll hand it to Stark, and he is hit immediately, but somehow he just takes the defender on his back, carries him for about 3 yards.
You know, that should have been like a 2-yard loss.
Exactly.
But all of a sudden, he's so strong, he just drags the guys with him for a couple of yards.
We've talked a lot about Stanek's accuracy, Kenny. He's 3 for 3 so far in the game.
Here it is again. Look, you just drag him with him. Just take him and take him and take him. Anthony Battle.
Lincoln Way East threatening to tie this game up. They have 2nd and 9 from the 14. Certainly looked like he would gain more yards than that. Stanek pump fakes once, throws, and that one will fall incomplete. Coming back to try and make a play on the ball was Evans, and couldn't hang on.
Good defense, too. Great coverage there, too, by Michael Banks. Only a sophomore.
You know what, Kenny? And we've talked about this a lot over the years. You very rarely see sophomores in the starting lineup. We have seen more sophomores as starters this year than any year that I can remember. And Mount Carmel has 2 of them starting on defense, Michael Banks and Adonis Filer.
And this is also the time of year you can also bring up some of your sophomores from your sophomore team.
3rd down and 9 for Lincoln Way East. They have the ball in the Mount Carmel 14. Stanek, play fake, looks, throws, has Evans. He's inside the 5. Touchdown, Lincoln Way East. They need an extra point to tie it up at 7.
Did he look great stepping into that pocket?
What a great pattern by Evans. That is not the simplest play to run at the high school level, but watch the way the Griffins execute this touchdown.
Well, he looked wonderful stepping into that pocket. The offensive line gave him time. Evans goes in for the 6. Now you need to point after.
Thomaston in to attempt the extra point, and he is an outstanding kicker, driving that one into the wind, and he missed it. Missed the extra point.
Kicking it into the wind. We saw him practicing before the game, and the wind was really playing tricks with the ball.
We'll file this away, though, on Thomaston. He was making them from 40 yards out in the warm-ups.
Now watch the way he steps right into that pocket, Jim. Just beautiful. Then you see going in for the touchdown is Evans. But what a nice pattern run by Evans. Goes out, cuts in towards the post. But again, the offensive line giving everybody plenty of time to get open.
It's similar to a bubble screen, but it's run a little farther down the field. So the Griffins, remember, they were 3rd down and long. They converted and kept it alive. Now, at the beginning of the game, we told you 12-mile-an-hour breeze. I mean, I'm no weatherman, but that flag looks like it's being blown a little harder than 12 miles an hour.
Just a little bit.
Jam-packed house here in Frankfort tonight. There's the scoring drive for Lincoln Way East. 10 plays. They cover 80 yards in 4:28. First time we will get to see Thomaston kick off. He's going to kick into the wind. Deep to receive for Mount Carmel are Butler and Greer. It is Butler. He'll take the ball at the 16-yard line. He's trying to get to the first wave. Nearly did. He was taken down at the 33-yard line. And that is where Mount Carmel begins their second possession of the game. Their first possession began after a Lincoln Way East turnover.
And there you see the faithful of Mount Carmel. Boy, it must be good to be young, huh?
They got stuck in a little traffic on the way down here tonight. I-57 was a little clogged up from what we understand. Now it's the turn for the Caravan. First drive they started on their own 48. This starts in their own 33. Greer has some room. He's over the 40, and he takes it all the way out to the 45-yard line. He'll have a first down for Mount Carmel.
Boy, how quick are his feet? You see how quick his feet are. Again, we always talk about the good offensive line they have here at Mount Carmel. Once again, they explode off the ball.
12-yard run on first down for Greer. Second play in a row, 1st and 10. Slot right formation for Mount Carmel. Lynch keeps it, turns the corner. He's across midfield. He has some room down the sideline. He's to the 30. Lynch runs out of room over on the sideline, but not before he takes it all the way down inside the Lincoln Way East 15-yard line.
What a play by Lynch. Boy, he runs that option so well. He gives it to the running back. Jim, watch how he just takes his right back. Gives it to Greer, takes it right back, and then he just follows his blocking down to the right side. And again, we talked about how quick he is. He's just like having another running back in the backfield.
42 yards on that carry. 1st and 10 for Mount Carmel from the 13-yard line. Lynch keeps again, has a little room, gets down near the 5, and that's where he's hit by about 3 black shirts. And then the rest of the pile comes in. And the Mt Carmel Caravan, they want a flag thrown for the person who jumped on top of the pile at the very end, but no flags are down.
I can understand that because that's Austin Copley, who was 6'4", 210, and he really did come jumping in. And that's why you see the Mount Carmel bench, they're very upset. They were not happy with the pile on.
Lynch took it down to the 6-yard line, where it will be, well, we'll call it second. They're going to put 2nd and 3 on the board. It's more like 4. Lynch, option. He keeps for a moment, and he has to turn back into the middle of the line of scrimmage, and he's looking to get back to the line of scrimmage. Great job there by the Lincoln Way East defense of just blowing up the option. It's one of the things you have to do against the option, Kenny. You have to get to the quarterback. Somebody's got to play the quarterback, which makes him either decide to keep it or decide to pitch it early. But you got to get all the lanes covered up. And that was a great play by the Griffins.
And as you take a look at the good luck sign by Lincoln Way East student body, but that was a great job, Jim. You said it right there, getting in that backfield to making Lynch just eat the ball.
3rd down and 3 with the ball sitting on the 6-yard line right now. Stanford and Greer are in the backfield, and it's Greer that gets the carry, and he got absolutely nowhere. The Lincoln Way East defense coming up big inside their own 10-yard line.
Well, a second play in a row, they have really come up big right here in the red zone. They have done a tremendous job in the red zone on this possession of a Caravan.
Now, this will tell you a lot, depending on whether Mount Carmel decides to kick it or whether they decide to go for it. And Jordan Lynch is coming into the huddle. It is 4th down and 2. Ball is sitting on the 5. Mount Carmel has 2 chances here. They can take it into the end zone or they can still get a first down. Greer and Stanford are the backs. Lynch keeps, then hands to Stanford. He'll cut it back in. Touchdown, Mount Carmel.
But a
flag goes down late. Hang on.
And I think that's going to be against Brett Capjack for a hold, I think.
Holding on the offense, 10-yard penalty. Repeat the down.
Second time in this game we have seen a touchdown get called back by a holding penalty. That has jumped up and bitten each one of the teams. Now the ball gets backed up 10 yards from the spot, and Rodriguez should be coming in to attempt a field goal here.
Well, 3, if they can get to 3, that would be better than none.
It will be a kick of about 29 yards. It will be almost straight downwind. The true wind is for Rodriguez, just helping him. It's helping him, and it's coming just a little bit from his left. Ball will be spotted at the 19, so it is indeed a 29-yard attempt. Chris Soika on the hold. Rodriguez, one step, lets it fly, has it high enough, and it is good. Mount Carmel ups their lead to 10-6.
Well, you would rather have the 6, but they'll be happy to come away with the 3.
So we talked about the kicking games a little bit early, and we told you Lincoln Way East might have the advantage in the kicking game. Not so far. Mount Carmel has 4 points out of their kicking game. Lincoln Way East was unable to convert their only extra point attempt.
Well, and I'm sure Coach Lynch's upset about that touchdown being called back, because you had a touchdown, then you had the hold, and that just wipes it off the board.
We have 12.2 remaining here in the first quarter. Mount Carmel will get a chance to kick it off before we switch ends. And again, and to bring up the kicking game, that's a big difference for Lincoln Way East, because Thomaston, we told you, he has range from about 40 yards out. I would imagine with the wind, he easily extends to 45 and maybe farther. Sawicki and Whittle are back to receive the kick. Rodriguez was able to punch it into the end zone last time for a touchback. As you look at the recap on the scoring drive for Mount Carmel, that results in the 29-yard field goal. Rodriguez ready to let it fly. Drives it low, drives it deep, and this one is way into the end. His kicks have gotten deeper every time, Kenny.
Oh, my
he goes
goodness.
from the 3 to about a yard in. That was all the way to the end of the line at the back of the end zone.
Boy, little wind with the behind him.
Well, the quarterbacks, we highlighted them at the start of the game. By far, they have been the stars of this game. Stanek has been a master with his scrambling and accuracy. Jordan Lynch, 89 yards rushing so far in this game. We're not even out of the first quarter yet.
Well, he runs that option so well. He's just like having another running back in the backfield.
Stanek has Whittle in the backfield with him this time. It's a straight run. He'll cut it up. Nice job of cutting it up. Takes to the 28-yard line. It will be a gain of about 8 on the play. And the tackle was made by Jeremy Johnson, but the two teams will get a drink of water to alleviate any cramping from later on. You do cramp up in the cold weather if you're not careful, and they'll talk to their players. But we're through 1 quarter of play. It's an 8A second-round game. Mount Carmel leading Lincoln Way East 10-6 on the CN100 High School Game of the Week.
This fall, the IHSA football playoffs are on My 50 Chicago, Cable 8, starting November 22nd at 7. 2 teams battle for a shot at the championship in an IHSA semifinal. Then, on November 28th and 29th, My 50 carries 8 IHSA championship games. 24 hours of live coverage featuring the best high school teams in Illinois and Chicago. My 50 Chicago, Cable 8, your source for IHSA football.
Reminder to our viewers, the My 50 IHSA Network semifinal game and the Thanksgiving weekend state championship games can be seen on Comcast Channel 8. Apart from the coverage our IHSA Network friends will be providing, CN100 will be featuring 2 playoff games a weekend for the next 4 weekends right here on Comcast's own CN100. There's a lot of great prep football coming your way this November, and Comcast is proud to partner with the IHSA to showcase the best in Illinois high school sports. 2nd down and 1 for Lincoln Way East here. The interesting down. They have a lot of things they can do here. Stanek, play action. He'll roll to his right. He looks downfield, and that one will be picked off right in front of the Mount Carmel bench.
Was he inbounds? Yes, he was. Looked like he was.
Picked off made by Michael Kruger, Mark's brother. Just Michael Kruger with the pick, and that certainly looked like it might have been an incorrect route or a misconnection, because Stanek just threw that to a spot, and the only one there was Kruger.
Heard it again. He throws, and there's no blue shirts anywhere in your picture. Right there, there's nobody in your picture. You see Evans is right there, but Evans is in the middle of the screen. So I think there's a little miscommunication right there, but Kruger will take it for the Mount Carmel interception.
When you have a free down like that, 2nd down and 1, that's the last thing you want. And I like the way Lincoln Way East did. They're looking aggressive. They tried to make a play. It just didn't work out that time. And this time Lynch goes absolutely nowhere. He's wrapped up behind the line of scrimmage. It'll be a loss of 1 on the play. Let's go down in the field to Eric Schmidt.
Thanks, Jim. You know, Mount Carmel is a little bit of a tradition. You're about to see a scapular of Our Lady of Mount Carmel. The players actually hung it on the goalpost before the game. It honors Catholic and actually the school heritage. It's a long-time Mount Carmel tradition. They've used the exact same one all season without getting into too much detail. Catholics especially wear these around their necks. And guys, no word on the field if Nico Rodriguez is able to gauge the wind with it also.
Well, it honors Our Lady of Mount Carmel, and the Caravan have been doing that for years and years and years. And that play goes up the middle, and absolutely nothing. Best series by the Lincoln Way East defense so far. And Kenny, this is what you like to see out of a defense. Their offense turned it over, put them a little bit in a bad spot, but they're coming up big with no gain in the first two plays.
The defense is like, okay, guys, we'll take it from here. We'll just help you out. And this is 2 plays in a row where that big defensive line has been doing a good job exploding off of the ball. And Lynch has had trouble the last 2 times from the line of scrimmage.
3rd down and 9 officially for Mount Carmel. A big down for the Lincoln Way East defense. Remember, Mount Carmel, if they don't convert here, they'll have to punt into the wind. Lynch, he'll drop back to throw. He's in the pocket. He goes downfield. He had Butler for a moment, but the ball a little bit out of his reach. Let's give credit where the credit is due, Kenny. That was outstanding coverage downfield by Ezra Thompson. There was really no place for Lynch to go with that football because the coverage was so good.
Now watch Ezra Thompson step for step. So he goes step for step with his man. This is really, really good coverage. A little overthrown, but step for step was Thompson right there. The ball was intended for Butler. Now the Caravan will be punting, and like you said, Jimmy, now they're punting into the wind, so this could be good field position for Lincoln Way East.
Thompson is deep to receive the punt. He's standing at his own 25-yard line. Low snap, dropped to the ground. Fire. They're going to have to make something up here. Scramble on the play, and it's going to end up being a tackle for a loss all the way back at the 32-yard line. Making the play on special teams is George Patterson.
Well, George Patterson was right there. And like you say, Jim, you call fire, you got to make something up. Here it is again, a low snap, there's nothing to do. He tries to go to the right, can't get it. Now watch Patterson come into your screen, runs them down from behind. Great field position now for Lincoln Way East.
Griffins take over on the Mount Carmel 33-yard line. Lincoln Way East trailing by a score of 10-6. We're early in the second quarter. Stanek readjusts the lone running back, Stark. And Stark will get the carry straight up the middle, has some room, takes it inside the 30, down to the 28-yard line. Be a gain of about 5 in the play, 2nd down and 5.
See, Lincoln Way East, they're doing a great job of mixing the run and the pass. They do a great job of mixing it up. You don't want to run the ball too much. You don't want to pass it too much. I think they've done a great job of mixing it up, keeping the defense honest.
And we talked about the difficulty you can have running the spread sometimes this time of year. Even though Lincoln Way East lines up in a spread, they do run the ball very, very well out of it. So I don't put them in that spread category with some of the other teams that are just flinging it every down out of the spread. Stanek hands to Stark. Right sideline, has a 1st down, driven out of bounds inside the 20.
Boy, nice job of faking the pitch back, and then you just hand it off to Stark. So watch the fake. You fake the pitch back, and then Stark comes over. He'll hand it off, goes once he turns that corner, and you'll get knocked out of bounds, but a 1st down for Lincoln Way East.
10-yard run. Michael Banks was able to knock Stark out of bounds. 9.5 minutes remaining in the second quarter. Lincoln Way East threatening to go back on top. Or I should say on top. They have not had the lead so far in this game. That is Whittle in motion. He'll get the carry. He goes the right side. Doesn't get a lot, but he moves it downfield another couple of yards. It'll bring him 2nd down and 8.
Yeah, Whittle with a little motion, a little hop, skip, and a jump before he received the football. Not much there as you take a look at the Lincoln Way East bench.
Lincoln Way East defense getting their instruction. They get a lot of credit, Kenny. After that turnover, they were in somewhat of a bad spot, but they came up huge, got a 3 and out, and got the ball back for their offense. And now the offense is in line to do what you need the offense to do after a turnover. That's get it back and take it down the field. Whittle in motion again. Stanek, he'll throw, has a man open, and it was dropped at the 10-yard line. The intended target was number 83, Guido Falaschetti.
Boy, looked like it was right into his hands.
Take that back, guys. The intended target of the play was number 36 for Lincoln Way East, and that was Colin Sable.
Here it is again. I see Sable doesn't quite look it into his hands. And you know what? You drop a ball, then you get hit. That makes matters worse.
2 for 2 on 3rd down for Lincoln Way East. I'm going to say this once, and I won't use an excuse the rest of the night, but I implore every athletic director in the state to not put blue numbers on black uniforms. Stanek, he'll keep, and he'll get back to the 15-yard line on the quarterback draw. That was a gain of 1 on the play, with the tackle being made by Demetrius Carr. And here's where Thomaston now will get his chance to kick.
Well, he'll get a chance to kick, but he's kicking with the wind at his back now. We'll see if he's able to get it. We saw him warming up from about 40. This, on paper, should be a chip shot. But remember, he missed a PAT, kicking into the wind.
32-yard field goal, and he's dead in the middle of the fairway for this one. Thomaston puts it up, drives it low, and it is good. So Lincoln Way East is back to within a point at 10-9.
It was a line drive, but had plenty of distance. Not a lot of height to it, but plenty of distance. So they come away with 3 off of the turnover.
So Lincoln Way East fans, and there are a lot of them here. You know what, Kenny, the one thing that's always amazed me about this school, and we've come here almost every year since they started playing varsity back in 2002, and they always have a jam-packed student section. This is one of the schools that probably gets more of their students out to their games than any other I've ever seen.
Well, and on a night like tonight, when it's an 18-degree wind chill factor, you know you have a great student body.
But it is packed in the stands, and let's give some credit to the Caravan fans as well across the way. They have packed the visitor. We don't see too many high school games where the visitor stands are packed, but they are, and that's the Mt Carmel fans across the way. So this is what and I talked about it a little bit at the start. This is what I love about the playoffs. When you get a game between 2 great programs that don't play each other. This game doesn't happen unless it's in the playoffs. That's the way it should be, and it makes for an exciting game. And we've got a tight one right now. Lincoln Way East trailing by 1, and that kick, as you might expect, Thomaston going into the wind, or going with the wind, easily puts it through the end zone.
Yeah, with that wind howling. But look at Mt Carmel.
Well, we saw them the first weekend of the season, blew out Curie, then beat St. Ignatius. Then they ran into a problem. In the rain and the slop at New Lenox, lost to Providence. We were there when they lost to St. Rita, and they didn't look good against Rita. I didn't think, Kenny. But then after that, they just began to roll. The game, when you hammer Brother Rice 35-10, that's getting it turned around.
Yeah,
they blew out Naperville Central last week.
I think, Jim, they just went back to basics after losing to St. Rita.
Jordan Lynch. And he keeps, and he goes nowhere. So whatever adjustment was made by the Lincoln Way East defense after the turnover, it has worked very, very well, because they have given up practically nothing, and that was Ryan Hickey coming up to make the tackle.
Yeah, well, those linebackers are doing a great job, Jim, exploding off of the ball. Here it is again. Now you see they close those gaps right there, and then he comes in from the outside and brings them down.
Let's go to Eric Schmidt. Eric?
You know, Jim, Coach Lenny told me before the game, it wasn't actually after the Rita game. He said halftime of that game was when he really started to see things click. Said that he didn't have to yell at the kids, but he just told them to play the game 1 play at a time and play from the heart. They had 30 plays for about 50 yards that first half, 33 plays for 250 plus in the second half, and he really attributes the turnaround right at that point.
Delivered on time and on the money by Lynch, and Capjack unable to hold on. There is Frank Lenty. Been around a long time, Kenny. Long time.
Oh, boy. He runs that option offense. I like the philosophy. If it's not broke, don't fix it.
And he very likely at some point will pass Gary Carhonen to become the all-time winningest high school football coach in the state of Illinois, because Frank's still a relatively young guy. He's got a lot of years he can still coach, and he's not planning on going anywhere anytime soon. Lynch running the option, throws it on the turf, and it is bobbled around, and it will go out of bounds. Mt Carmel will keep it. Sam Ebel had a chance to just fall on the football. He saw glory, and he saw pay dirt 20 yards in front of him, and he just couldn't find the ears on it.
Here it is again. Now Lynch on the option throws it. That's a live ball. Now watch Ebel. If he falls on that, he has it, but he tried to pick it up and run with it at the same time. If the ball goes out of bounds, back to the Caravan.
But the end result is this. Mt Carmel will have to punt for the second time in a row, and Ezra Thompson is standing on the Mt Carmel 46, awaiting this punt that will go into the wind. And it kind of dies up in the air, takes a Lincoln Way East bounce, and the Griffins will have outstanding field position at the Mt Carmel 39, a punt of just 22 yards into the wind.
Well, I was surprised he was able to get that off because the Griffins came. They were going for the block. Again, now, good field position for Lincoln Way East. Last time they came away with the field goal. Let's see what they can do. But look at the offense. The guys, no socks. You know, as cold as it is, they got the legs showing.
That's the look the kids like these days, Kenny. Me, I'm a little skeptical.
Yeah, I was about to say, I'd be freezing.
Stanek swings it out to Whittle. He has some blocking in front and wanted to cut it back inside, and that play just kind of dies a quick death. It's going to be a gain of about 2 for Whittle. Coming up to make the play was Jeremy Johnson.
Yeah, Johnson did a great job holding his ground, wouldn't let him go by him, Jim. Goes by down and grabs him by the ankle.
This game has flipped around. At the very beginning, Mt Carmel was moving with relative ease. They went right down the field their first possession and scored. Now all of a sudden the Lincoln Way East defense has risen up. The Lincoln Way East offense was struggling. Stanek was running for his life earlier. Now he's just standing there making plays. Stark goes in motion. Stanek back to throw, has protection, delivers the football and has the completion, and that'll be a first down to the 26-yard line. Evans making the catch, Banks on the coverage.
Yeah, Evans coming in, Jim doing a great job. Now watch Evans coming on a little slant right here. Just coming to your screen, just comes right there, and actually he just slips. He was brought down by Banks, but he actually slipped.
Shows you the kind of trust the Lincoln Way East coaches have in their players. When we see high school teams throw it, they usually throw it to the outside. Lincoln Way East does a lot of throwing it to the inside. 1st and 10. From the Mt Carmel 27-yard line.
Back to the spread.
Stark trying to find his way. Gets over the 30, the 25. Bounces around again. Falls inside the 23, but we have a flag come in from the back judge late.
We have had a lot of late flags tonight.
Chris Barcelona making the tackle.
Illegal blocking the back by the offense.
So that will back up the Griffins. Well, they have overcome some penalties and an 81-yard touchdown that got called back, and they were a 3rd and long. That's the 4th penalty of the game on the Lincoln Way East Griffins.
Illegal block in the back.
Well, one thing that happens, too, as you get farther down in the playoffs is the pool of officials starts to shrink a little bit, too. So, and some of the stuff, and to the chagrin of the fans sometimes, some of the things that might not have gotten even noticed in the earlier games, at this point, you know, these guys start getting everything. Yeah. Stark goes in motion. First down at about 20. Stanek, it's a screen. He comes back. Whittle has it, and he has a ton of room. Whittle is to the 20. He's down to the 10 where he cuts inside. He'll go down to the 6. 1st and goal for Lincoln Way East.
What a great play. And Jeremy Johnson with the saving tackle. Touchdown saving tackle. Here again, Jim,
this is a beautiful screen. They really sell. Watch this.
So he rolls out, and then he sets out the screen, and look at this. It's wide open. Then you get your blockers. You go right there. You get a nice block there, and then Johnson comes from behind to bring him down.
29 yards in the game. Whittle has to go to the sidelines after taking a hard hit. Is there any worse feeling in the world for a defensive lineman than when he all of a sudden realizes it's a screen?
That's when they panic. Here's your pitch.
Stark on the pitch, trying to get to the corner. He does. Touchdown, Lincoln Way East.
What a great block by Ryan Hickey. Did you see your linebacker in your backfield with a great block?
Lincoln Way East, for the first time tonight, they have the lead, 15-10. Will they go for 2?
I would kick it.
I would, too. At the kicking game they have, I'd make sure I get the point. Way too early to start chasing points.
With the kicking game they have and the wind at their back.
Thomaston comes in, and he will attempt to make it a 6-point margin. Thomaston again drives it low and drives it through. He doesn't mess around. He doesn't pop him up in the air. He just gets him up in the air and through.
Just enough, but it counts the same.
Well, when he was warming up into the wind before the game, he was popping him up in the air and kind of letting him die through the goalposts. And Whittle is getting the exam right now.
How many fingers, son? Where are you? Okay.
Well, these are very sophisticated plays, and they take a lot to get going, Kenny. These are not easy to run.
Well, I like the way he goes to the right, and he comes back to the left side, sets up the screen, does a good job, gets some great blocking there before he's brought down by Johnson. But watch the block by Hickey over here to the left of your screen. Right there. See, Hickey drives the defender out of the picture, and they walk in for the touchdown.
Lincoln Way East has had to drive the football their last two possessions. They took it from the 33 on their prior possession. They took it from the 38 that time. Thomaston with the win. He should get this into the end zone easily. And the question is, will he get it out of the back of the end zone? And the answer is yes.
Did that go through the goal post?
No. He was a little short of that. Needed a little bit more club.
Boy, I thought that was going through the goal post.
This is another one. This is one of the reasons why Lincoln Way East and Lincoln Way Central have very good football programs. Their youth football program down here in New Lenox and Mokina and Frankfort is outstanding. They get these guys started early. They teach them well, and this has been a great football area for a long time, and even going back to when there was just one high school, and Lincoln Way High School was the only one down here.
And what a thrill for that youngster to go out there on the field, be the ball boy for the day.
1st and 10, Mount Carmel from the 20. Lynch, he has a man, flares it out to the sideline, making a completion and staying on his feet before being popped out of bounds was Jack Sherlock.
Well, Sherlock comes out of the backfield. Lynch out of the play action. Here it again. You get the play action, then you get Sherlock swinging over and gets it a hit.
You know,
playing hard.
that's a lot of pad popping for a high school game, isn't it?
That really is. Boy, what a great shot there by our producer director Andy Zolkowski and our crew to pick that up.
These kids are bringing it. 4:55 remaining in the quarter. Lynch, straight drop back. Wanted to flare it out. That was covered. Has to keep it himself. He'll take it up the middle. Maybe got back to the original line of scrimmage. Uchenna Ebringa.
Boy, but he ran into his own man as he was looking for getting something going. He ran into Tim Houghton. See, he'll run into his own man. He wants to do the swing, but he's not there. See the hand right there? Can't go there. See, now he'll run right into his own man. And then that brings in all of the blue shirts.
That was Ryan Deal who made the play by getting his arm up in the air. That's all he did. Put his arm up in the air, and he blew up the whole play. 2nd down and 10 with 4:11 remaining. Handoff to Greer. He's up the middle. He has a seam. He's going straight down the middle of the field. Now he'll cut back, gets inside the 30, and he's finally tackled at the 22-yard line by Ezra Thompson. 1st down and 10, Mount Carmel deep in Lincoln Way East territory. A gain of 39 yards on the play.
Boy, Milton Greer, what a great individual effort. Watch this, Jim. Once he goes off the draw here, he goes right up the middle. Goes right through the defense. See, he had a couple of guys there, goes right through him before he's finally brought down.
Caravan threatening now, and maybe a moment ago time was looking like a bit of a factor, but now they have it on the 22. Lynch on a longer count, goes in the option, he'll keep around the left end, cuts it back inside, goes down inside the 10, he's inside the 5 to the 2-yard line before he's finally taken down. George Pattison, he made the initial holdup, but he needed some help to bring Lynch to the ground.
Boy, how strong is Lynch and how fast is he? Here it is again. Now, he'll go to the outside, and he'll get by one guy, stop, cuts back to the inside after he gets a block, and then Pattison holds him up, and then you get a host of others. But what a couple of great moves there by Lynch.
This game so far is going on ebb and flow for the defense. That was a 20-yard game by Lynch, and it just seems like for a while one defense dominates, and then all of a sudden it's the offensive coaches make their adjustments. Now it's up to the defense, especially for Lincoln Way East, to make an adjustment here. 1st down and goal from the 3-yard line. Lynch keeps, goes up the middle, and maybe gets down to about the 1.5, and give a half tackle to everybody in the Lincoln Way East defense on that one.
And George Pattison was also right in there. Lynch with the fake handoff to Greer decided to keep it himself. Can't get in, but it's going to be 2nd and goal.
Yeah, Mount Carmel wants some clock to run off here, I'll tell you that. I think the last thing you want to do is give the ball back to Stanek, where they've just got to go and throw the ball all over the place.
So they're going to take his time.
This is like Battelle football when you were playing against your brother and you got it down to the 1 yard line and just kept moving the guy around so he wouldn't get tackled, so you burn up the clock. Nick Pino, our statistician, knows exactly what I'm talking about. Lynch on a long count. Pitches. Stanford. He'll walk into the end zone. Touchdown, Mt Carmel. Caravan tie it up at 16.
Boy, Stanford walked in untouched.
We've seen a lot of points in this game so far, Kenny, but I can't criticize the way the defenses are playing. There's people making plays out there, and that's hard to stop.
And the offensive line that time made a great play where Stanford goes in untouched. He walks in.
What was it, the Batavia and Huntley last week that had 130-some points?
Wow. Well, I don't think we're going to do that.
Were you in line for one of those?
I don't think we're going to get that.
Now, here's where it gets a little interesting for Mt Carmel. Rodriguez in to attempt the extra point, but he is kicking nearly dead into the wind. And he's a left footer, so his hook side is going to hook it way right, but he gets that one through, and that is good. So Mt Carmel back up on top, 17-16. The difference in the game right now, a Lincoln Way East extra point that was missed into the wind.
Boy, then that looms awfully big right now. But watch the blocking here by the offensive line. You know, you fake it to Greer, then you pitch it back. Look at this, just walks in.
Yeah.
Untouched. Just a great, great job. Here it is again. You put it over, you swing, and boy, look at that great block there. And they just do such a tremendous job of opening that hole. Stanford walks in.
Yeah, Greer was the first guy to greet Stanford in the end zone. It was Greer that threw the block. 6 plays, 80 yards, covered 3 minutes, 2 seconds. And we have seen it go back and forth so far. And I told you at the start of this game, either one of these teams could walk away on Thanksgiving weekend as the 8A champion. But one of them is going to go home tonight. This is the bracket of the 8A tournament that is just stacked up with unbelievably good football teams.
And these are 2 of the best in the state of Illinois.
Lincoln Way East is going to get some kind of a chance here because this kick is going to go into the wind.
And we have a lot of time remaining, 2:15 to go in the first half.
It is Whittle and Sawicki that are deep to receive the kick. And let's see, it is about, what a great kick by Rodriguez. And this is going to be Whittle, who took it right in front of the goal line, gets a great return. He's through the initial burst, now he cuts it back to midfield. Whittle in a race, he'll get pulled down from behind, but an outstanding return all the way back to the Mt Carmel 47-yard line. And running him down from behind was Denzel Thompson.
Denzel Thompson with this touchdown-saving tackle. Boy, this is a great kick, considering he's kicking into the wind, Jim. Boy, but watch this block. He follows his blocker, gets the same, says, get out, you go get him. Then he cuts inside, and then Denzel runs them down from behind.
The Griffins have a full complement of timeouts, and they have the ball on the Mt Carmel 37-yard line. Little extra protection back there for Stanek. He'll play fake. He's going to have to run away from trouble. Has little room. Wafts it up at the goal line. Just out of the extended reach. And the pass was intended for number 1. That's Muntean.
Boy, how strong is his arm? He threw that while running, and both feet are in the air. Look at his feet. Both feet are in the air when he throws that ball.
That's a little flick of the wrist.
Man.
Muntean. You know, and you can say, well, wow, Muntean was almost there. You know, that was not bad coverage on the play.
Great coverage.
And that was Ed Antonetti that had the coverage on that. So that ball was thrown where it had to be. Muntean in the slot to the right. Evans is wide to the right. Second down. Pass underneath. Evans dropped it at the 30-yard line. Third down coming up.
And you can see Evans clapping his hands because that's one he'll tell you he thought he should have had.
I should mention that Mt Carmel has 2 timeouts left, and their defense might get off the field here.
Well, here it is again. Plenty of room. Steps to the pocket on a little slant, and Evans just can't bring it in. And he slaps his hand saying, you know what? I should have had that one.
Okay, well, let's do a little math here. Ball in the 37. That'd be a 54-yarder for Thomaston. I don't know if they'd give him a shot at it from there.
Well, with the wind.
With the wind, he might make it.
He may make it. The wind at his back.
Be interesting if they get 5 yards in this play, what they do. Stanek scrambles. He will have the 5. He'll have a first down. He's out of bounds at the 20-yard line. 1st and 10 for Lincoln Way East.
Well, we talk about so much how he loves to pass the ball, but he can also run, and he shows it here. As he goes back, Nothing there. Looking. I think he just wanted to pick up the 5, but then all of a sudden he has a big seam right there, and he goes out of bounds, and all of a sudden the Griffins are back into it. And what a great block there by Alex Evans.
Kruger drove him out of bounds. 20-yard gain in the play. 1st and 10 for Lincoln Way East on the 18-yard line. But again, they have all their timeouts, and they have 1:41 with which to work. They can try some running plays here if they wanted to.
They have plenty of time.
Stanek, he will give to Stark. He'll take it up the middle, makes a nice run inside the 15. Got to about the 13-yard line before he was turned around. It was Nathan Alley who made the initial hit and then waited for a little bit of help.
But did you notice the way he puts both arms around that football? He's not going to let that ball go.
1:22 and running remaining in what has been an unbelievably entertaining first half.
And we knew it would be. This game has been as good as advertised.
What does it tell you that the Griffins are just letting the clock run? It tells you two things. Number one, they're confident in their offense. And number two, they don't want to leave any time in the clock.
Right. They want to go down at halftime. They do not want to give the Caravan another chance on offense.
Stark goes in motion on 2nd down and 6. Stanek, he will throw. He has Stark. Makes a move. Gets down to the 5. He has a first down. He has a touchdown. Lincoln Way East back out in front.
Well, Antonetti had him. Eddie Antonetti had him, and you couldn't bring him down.
The Lincoln Way East offense is really finding a rhythm now. 14 yards on the pass play. Stanek to start.
But they have been impressive tonight. They have been impressive.
Well, we are going to have a little timeout, and we are going to have a little discussion, and I am sure the discussion is about whether or not they want to go for 2 or not.
Here it is again.
I still would not go for 2 here.
I wouldn't either. I would kick it. Here it is again. Now, watch the missed tackle right here. See, he had him. See, you bring him down, but you go, he's trying to tackle him a little bit too high.
An outstanding 2-minute drill by Lincoln Way East. And remember, it was a huge return that got the whole thing set up.
So do you go for the 2 to try to make up that extra point that you missed?
Well, we'll be able to tell by whether it's Stanek or Thomaston comes out of the huddle. And we have, I believe, is that one of the officials down over on the far sideline, or is that one of the players?
Yeah, right about what?
No, it's one of the Mt Carmel players.
Right about the 2-yard line. I can't see the number from here.
Yeah, all the way across the field. And getting up is Ed Antonetti off of the field. So play was held up while they attended to Antonetti, and he is moving off on his own. This has been a very hard-hitting football game.
Well, the good thing is he's moving on his own without help, so he should be okay.
Stanek comes out into the huddle. So Lincoln Way East is going to go for 2 to try and up the lead to 24-17. Stanek, he'll throw, lays it out, and that is caught by Evans for a 2-point conversion. That was an unbelievable throw by Stanek.
And an unbelievable catch by Evans. He had to keep his feet in bounds.
Stanek put that ball up before Evans really even started to make his break.
So he threw it to the spot.
And Evans ran right to it.
Runs to the spot to get it.
I'm still against the strategy, but when you make them, it makes the point moot.
Well, they make up that extra point that they missed. Here it is again now. Watch where he just throws the ball. Evans is nowhere in your picture. Now all of a sudden Evans is right there, comes down.
Remember, it's 1 foot in high school football.
That's all you need.
Outstanding.
Michael Banks on the coverage.
Fine plays here, and again, it was after the big return down to the 38-yard line of Mt Carmel. It set up the drive, and the Griffins take 145 from there.
But what a throw! It had to be perfect. It had to be a perfect throw.
And again, it's not you know, everybody gets all impressed by the long throws that go 40 yards and they're dead in the money, but those throws like that are the ones that show you that a player has a big-time arm and can make the throws. Thomaston kicks, and that will be into the end zone. Greer gets it, so an automatic touchback. Well, let's see what Mount Carmel does with 20 seconds left.
Well, here's your touchdown replay. You swing it out, and now, see, right there, Antonetti had him, and I think that's where he got injured. I think he got looked at the back of the shoe to his chin. And a touchdown for Lincoln Way East.
Stanek threw that between the arms of a Mount Carmel defensive lineman, too.
Which is not an easy thing to do.
I said 20 seconds left a minute ago. It's 48.8 left.
You're in a hurry, huh?
Yeah. And Mount Carmel spreads it out a little bit here. So they're not going to sit on it. They're going to take an opportunity and see if they can score. Remember, Mount Carmel deferred. They'll get the ball back to start the second half. And I think that was a forward pass. Everybody chases it out of bounds just to be sure, but it'll be second down. Now, Lincoln Way East, too, they have all their timeouts left still. So they can call timeouts here on defense if they want.
And get the ball back.
Get it back one more time.
I think that's exactly what's going to happen.
Well, they did call that a lateral. Should look like a forward pass to me. So that really, well, the clock shouldn't have stopped that on a lateral.
I wonder if that's why he blew the whistle.
Loosen up a little bit.
If it was an incomplete pass, well, it's 45.5 remaining. Mount Carmel 2nd and 13. Now they're going to run it. Now the question is, Lincoln Way East going to call a timeout. And the clock does stop with 39.4 left. Because remember this, if Lincoln Way East can force Mount Carmel to punt, Mount Carmel has to punt into the wind. And if you're Lincoln Way East, you have two chances. You have Stanek throwing the wind, but remember, we think Thomaston can take it and at least, you know, try an attempt from 45 yards out.
Right.
Which means you would have to get the ball down to the 28-yard line to try a long field goal.
So clock management, very important. Let's see how they manage the clock here in the final seconds of the first half.
And just to do a little housekeeping, it's 3rd down and 11 from the 19.
As you take a look at the Griffins, your dark blue numbers on your black jerseys.
I said I wouldn't mention it again, but I didn't say anything if Kenny would mention it.
Well, see, people at home, with the lighting of the TV, it makes it look nice and bright, but in person, the numbers are extremely hard to figure out.
The kids love that stuff. Can't say we're a big fan. But if you play the way this Lincoln Way East defense is playing, you can wear whatever you want.
Yeah, won't make much of a difference.
Big down right here. 3rd down and 11. Lynch, he'll run the option. And you would have been really shocked if he would have pitched that. He'll keep it. And 32 seconds left. Lincoln Way East will call timeout. Mount Carmel will have to punt.
So, clock management. Stop the clock.
This is, well, in World Cup soccer, they call it the group of death. This might be the bracket. I mean, look at the teams you have left. Undefeated Bolingbrook. Hinsdale Central with John Whitelaw, one of the best high school quarterbacks in the state. Brother Rice, they just absolutely tore apart Sandburg last week. Naperville North with Nick Mulady, they're undefeated. And then Lincoln Way East and Mount Carmel combined 3 losses. Any of these 8 teams can win a state championship.
And let's think, whoever wins the 2-7 game plays the 3-6 winner, and that is going to be a great game.
And that is what will be in the face of the Mt Carmel Caravan as they try to punt it away here.
Well, we're really kicking up now.
I would not put the punt block on. I would not do it. I would make sure I get the football. Thompson will go back to receive the kick.
Because you should get really good field position kicking to that wind.
And remember, Mount Carmel already had a turnover in the punting game earlier in this game. Ryan Norris is back to kick. And remember, the one punt he did get off only went 22 yards. Low snap. They put the block on. They don't get there. The ball is a good kick. It's going to not only get to the 50, but takes a Mount Carmel bounce and it will roll dead on the 40-yard line with 18.9 remaining. The Caravan, they were smart there. They didn't touch it right away. They waited until the referee said, okay, you got to pick it up.
Well, that's a great kick going to the wind. Then it takes a great Mount Carmel bounce.
Okay, we're going to say to at least attempt a field goal that the Griffins are going to have to get it to the Mount Carmel 30. So they're going to have to pick up about 36 yards from where they are right now.
Well, with his arm, I don't think that's hard to do.
No. And realistically, if they're very efficient here, they may get a couple of plays off before they go and try a field goal. Sawicki goes in motion. Stanek is going to roll to his left. Takes a look downfield, delivers the football, and that's incomplete with 14.1 remaining.
So you don't have much time now. 14.1.
You know what, Kenny, for my own selfish reasons, I'd like to see Lincoln Way East get the ball to about the 40-yard line and then try it. Just to
try a 50-yarder.
Just to see a high schooler try a 57-yarder. I would try it with this wind. I really would.
You don't have anything to lose.
I'll tell you what, though, I'd keep a guy deep just in case it gets blocked. I'd do that, too.
Well, no question about that.
Second down, but the important thing is 14.1 seconds. Stanek, he'll step up, has nobody open, scrambles around. He can still throw it. He's behind the line of scrimmage, and he is going to turn it upfield with 4 seconds left.
Oh, what a shot he took.
They may get a chance at it now because that is going to be a personal foul. It'll move it up 15 yards.
Boy, he took a shot, didn't he? Wow. How tough is he? He just bounced right back up. You know he's hurt. You had to feel that, right?
Dead ball, personal foul on the defense. 15-yard penalty. Back line to the end of the road.
There it is again, and there's nothing there. He just rolling, and there's the play before.
And Thomaston is going to come in, Kenny.
He's going to try it.
Let's see where the ball gets spotted because it's an end-of-the-run play. The Mount Carmel defense is standing at the 35. Well, they got to get that guy over the Lincoln Way East sideline to get the coaches off the field. They have not spotted the football as of yet. Let's see. It looks like they're going to mark it off from the 49, which will put the ball on the 34, which will make it a 51-yard field goal attempt for Thomaston.
With the wind. And I guarantee you right now, Coach Lynch's not happy with that personal foul. I can guarantee you that.
Thomaston, he'll be kicking straight downwind because the ball is in the left hash mark. The Lincoln Way East fans, while they come to their feet, they're going to have to stand for a second because Mount Carmel calls the timeout.
Smart move. Freeze them. Well, that's not hard to do. It's freeze it outside. So make him think about it.
I'm getting my wish, Kenny.
Yep, you wanted to see a 57-yarder. You'll see a 51 attempt.
Wanted to see a long field goal attempt.
I think you're going to see it tonight.
The only thing that tends to happen on these long field goal attempts with high school guys is the long snapper tries to snap it back there a little faster. The holder sometimes tries to get it back there a little faster as well, and you end up with bad timing. Here's the late hit.
Here's the late hit. Going out of bounds, and oh boy, he took a shot.
24-17. Lincoln Way East has the lead. Thomaston, indeed, will see the ball put down at the 41-yard line.
I would take another timeout.
And that is exactly what happens.
I'm glad Coach Lynch is listening to me. Did he have one more?
No.
That was his third?
They had to call one, remember, on defense in the first quarter. Well, if you like this play and you're familiar with Game Buster 5, then you might want to keep this one in mind because Game Buster 5 is Comcast's recognition of the top 5 impact plays from CN100 Game of the Week coverage. Impressive offensive attacks, big defensive stops, long field goals, crowd-pleasing plays that shape the outcome of the area's biggest games. It's Game Buster 5 only on Comcast On Demand. Look for details on CN100.tv. Now we're ready to go. Again, Thomaston is kicking straight downwind.
Mount Carmel does not have a player back.
All he has to do is pop this thing up in the air. High snap, and it's low, and that won't be any good. And that's the problem you run into.
Yep, the snap.
Snap was a little high. And, well, that runs out the time here in the first half. And an outstanding football game is an 8A second-round matchup that Lincoln Way East is leading by a score of 24-17. Mount Carmel jumped out on top early. Lincoln Way East came back with an outstanding second quarter, and they lead it at the break.
Well, this game has been everything we thought it would be, Jim. We knew we had two outstanding teams. We have an outstanding game. I'm not surprised that there's been a lot of scoring and a lot of great defense and a super football game tonight.
And still a very long way to go before we determine a winner in this game tonight. Let's go to Eric Schmidt. Eric?
Thank you very much, Jim. Boy, Coach, every time you get a little bit of resiliency, a little bit of, you just guys come right back. Talk about this team and the makeup of these guys.
It's both sides of the ball. Everybody's battling. We knew it'd be 48-minute war, and that's what it is, and that's what it's going to continue to be.
A day like this, you guys had the spread offense, and you get a lot of wind out here. Do you guys install anything different at this time of year?
You just run your offense and hope for the best.
Good luck with the voice the second half, too. Thanks, guys.
All right, Eric, thank you so much. And, well, you're going to have to stick around for the second half because the first half was outstanding. The Lincoln Way East Griffins leading Mount Carmel 24-17 in the second round game. We're back with more in a moment on the CN100 High School Game of the Week.
You're watching the Comcast Network, CN100 Chicago. Comcast and the Chicago Slaughter are teaming up to bring you the hard-hitting action of arena football. CN100, the Comcast Network, is now the official home for Slaughter football. Kicking off March 2009. Visit the Sears Center to see head coach Steve McMichael lead the Slaughter into battle for the CIFL Championship. Then catch all the excitement again on Comcast Digital Channel 100 or Comcast On Demand. Order your tickets for this action-packed season by visiting ChicagoSlaughter.com.
Play it, pause it, fast forward or rewind. The Comcast Network, Game of the Week on demand. It's exclusive high school football coverage on your schedule. Click on demand, go to Get Local. Click on Comcast Network. Then pick your game. You're in control. It's exclusive high school football coverage on demand from Comcast.
Welcome back to Frankfort. We're Lincoln Way East High School for this 8A second round game. Lincoln Way East leading Mount Carmel 24-17. Let's go down on the field. Here's Eric Schmidt.
Thanks very much, Jim. Coach, back and forth that whole first half. You guys would move the ball and then get stopped and then move it again. They were doing the same thing. What are the in-game changes we're seeing?
Again, we talked to our kids about consistency. We'd get some long yardage plays from their offense. Our defense would break down. We'd loose contain. From the outside linebacker positions, which is tough to work on. He's very elusive. The other thing I'm disturbed about is, we've given up some big yardage with big penalties. And as I told the one official, they're calling our kids for late hits. I can't see it from this sideline, but he's so elusive. You got to hit him till he's out of bounds. Otherwise, what are you going to do? I don't know.
Did they side with you on that one?
Well, again, the guy on our side, he's like us. He can't see it from where we are. So, you don't know. But, we've had more penalties in that first half than we've had, as they say, in a month of Sundays. So I don't know what to do with that. We just told the kids, keep playing smart, hard, and together. And, don't make foolish penalties and don't turn the ball over. And told the offensive kids, let's see if we can't set the tempo in the first 5 minutes of the second half.
Great. Thank you very much for the insight, Coach. Appreciate it.
Thank you very much.
Fellas, let's get back up to you. Hey, I know we got no shortage of highlights.
What a classy guy, huh?
Yeah,
Coach Lynchy, what a classy guy.
Frank brings up a very good point. We'll talk a little bit more about that in a second. But as you look at the stats, look at the rushing yards for Mount Carmel. Most of those are by Jordan Lynch. But here's the amazing thing about this game, Kenny. Look at the turnovers. Lincoln Way East turned it over twice. Mount Carmel didn't turn it over at all, yet Lincoln Way East is leading the game. You don't see that very often.
Total yardage, just about even.
Yeah. But it's a great point about Stanek. You got to keep after him, but you've also got to be disciplined, and you can't take a penalty for hitting a guy late, no matter how elusive he is.
Right.
And,
I like the way he said, though, let's just keep playing hard.
Yeah, and the thing is that I love hearing the coaches who coach these programs, and we heard Rob Zvonar a minute ago, is, you know what, this is fun. It's fun for the coaches. It's fun for the players. You don't know what's going to happen. And as we talk about so many times, Kenny, in games like this, one of these young men is going to emerge a hero out of this game.
Yeah.
And it will be a game that he'll talk about for the rest of his life.
Well, and not only is it fun for the kids and the coaches, it's also fun for us.
Yeah, it is.
To be here.
Because this was about as well played as a half of football we've seen in a long, long time. This is outstanding stuff.
Well, two outstanding teams.
Lincoln Way East will kick off. They will have the wind at their back here in the third quarter.
What happened to our heater? Man, it's cold in here.
Well, we got we're lucky enough here at Lincoln Way East. We've got kind of our own spot. This is one of the nicer high school press boxes we get to visit. The only drawback is the hatch that goes up to the roof for all the coaches is right above us. So get a little
cold in here.
Get a little traffic in here at halftime. But,
and it gets cold.
And we had all our camera guys in here at the half too, trying to get warmed up. Those guys are doing a great job, and trust me, up on top of a press box of a football stadium on a night like tonight, it is not warm. Thomaston puts a little air under it and still gets it to the back of the end zone. Greer catches it, and it will be 1st and 10 for Mt. Carmel from their own 20-yard line.
Well, you heard Coach Lindsey say, he told the offense, let's see if we can get something going. We have to get it started.
And there is Jordan Lynch, the leading rusher for the Mt. Carmel Caravan in the opening half of action. You know, Kenny, he's one of those guys who he gets better every time you see him. He really does. Just an outstanding player, very nice young man. I saw him up in Northern Illinois when he visited on a Saturday a few weeks ago. Talked to his dad a little bit. Dad's very proud. He should be. 1st down and 10. Lynch, he'll keep, and he tries to go around the corner. Didn't get anything. As a matter of fact, he lost a couple of yards on that play. Pete Marinovich coming up from his linebacker spot, making a nice play to get
Boy,
started.
how quick is Marinovich? Here it is again, right off the snap. You look at Marinovich right there. Boy, they forgot to block him. Boy, he was so quick. He was in the backfield as soon as the ball was snapped.
It may be huge if one of these teams can get up by 2 scores.
I think it will be huge if either team can get up by 2.
Mt. Carmel needs to grind out a couple of 1st downs just to get decent field position for their defense. And now they have 2nd down and long. Lynch. He will keep. He has a little bit of room up the middle of the field. Has a 1st down and more. He's up to midfield, still on his feet. Finally runs into a whole package of Lincoln Way East defenders. Lynch finally driven out of bounds at the 47-yard line.
You know, Sam Elby is right there to bring him out of bounds. Well, here it is again, Jim. Again, they run that option so well, and the blocking does a great job moving everybody over to the left. He goes to the right, and Lynch with a big gain for the Caravan.
34 yards on the gain for Jordan Lynch. And the Caravan now in the Lincoln Way East end of the field. Lynch has kept the ball a lot in this game. This time he'll drop back to throw. Nobody there, has to tuck it under, trying to find some running room, and he maybe got about a yard's worth of running room before he's brought down the middle of the Lincoln Way East defensive line. Beal and Oland in there on the tackle.
Well, you really have to give the Lincoln Way East corners a lot of credit because there was absolutely nobody open because Lynch wanted to pass the ball and no one was open. So you really have to give the corners and the safeties a lot of credit.
All that running by Lynch in a gain of about 1. 2nd down and 9 coming up.
The Caravan said they wanted to get something going started early on offense in this quarter. Big play so far by Lynch to get him into the Griffins territory.
Lynch, he wants to keep, turns it upfield. He gets across the 45-yard line, leans over to the 44, and that's going to be about it. It's a gain of 3 on the play. It'll bring up 3rd down and 7.
Well, now you're going to be in a passing situation, but with Lynch, you just never know because he can just take off at any moment.
Well, the Lincoln Way East pass rush has done a very good job, but they've made Lynch pull it down early because of the pressure, and then he's gone out running.
The concession stands are going. Some hot food.
Wind is blowing. They have a large concession stand. They have 2 of them here at Lincoln Way East.
And I visited both today.
Lynch on the reverse. That's Butler. He has a little bit of room. He has a 1st down. Now it's a race to the corner of the end zone. Butler inside the 5, and he's pulled down before he can get to the goal line. They will spot the football at the 1-yard line.
Big play by Mt. Carmel. Butler on that reverse eludes the first tackler big play for the Caravan, and you heard Coach say at the half, we need to come out and get something established right off the bat. Here it is again. On your reverse, you end around. Now watch, right here, he gets by a tackler, and he's off to the races inside of the 1-yard line.
Well, they spotted at the 1 originally. Now they back it up to the 3, but in any event, it's 1st and goal for Mount Carmel after a 39-yard gain by Brent Butler.
A couple of real big running plays to open this quarter for the Caravan.
Butler's out to the right. Quarterback keeper. Lynch takes it forward. Touchdown, Mount Carmel. The Caravan an extra point away from tying it up at 24 all.
And you notice the only players that moved were the center and the quarterback. Your center and your quarterback were the only two to move.
Rodriguez will come in to attempt the extra point.
What a ball game.
I have a thought about Nico Rodriguez, but I'm going to save it till after this extra point, Kenny. He'll be kicking into the wind on this one.
Sets it down. Go this way. He gets stuck, talking to his holder. Get it down.
Yeah, they get the ball down, let me kick it, and I will submit to you, and here's my thought, and I wanted to hold it as to not jinx Nico Rodriguez. He's been great tonight. He's really, in a way, been the difference in the game so far. And I know it sounds strange in a game that's tied, but we know Thomaston has a big leg. But Rodriguez has come in. He's made a field goal. He's made all 3 of his extra points. And more importantly, remember in the second quarter, or in the first quarter when Mount Carmel was doing all the scoring, he got the ball back to the end zone.
Well, they're coming to good blocks right there. And boy, he's off to the races. And you're going to get it right inside of the 5-yard line. They'll mark that at about the 2. Here's your touchdown. See, just your center. See, just your center and your quarterback move. Nobody else goes. Your center and your quarterback. They're the only ones to move. Mike Hauser and your quarterback, Jordan Lynch, were the only 2 to move. They get the easy touchdown.
13th rushing touchdown of the year for Jordan Lynch. Time now for Mount Carmel to kick it into the wind. Whittle and Sawicki are deep to receive. Rodriguez was reaching the end zone going the other way. This might be a little tougher.
Yeah, because he's kicking right into the teeth of that wind.
Decides to go low. The ball's going to bounce around, and Sawicki picks it up at the 6. Sawicki picks up his blockers, tries to cut across the field, gets to the 15-yard line before he's taken down. So I'll mention it again. Rodriguez with an effective kick that puts Lincoln Way East a little bit deep in their own territory. Let's take a look at the standings in the Southwest Suburban Blue. The only game Lincoln Way East lost was to the team that won the league, and that was Bolingbrook. We saw Sandburg last week. They were knocked out by Brother Rice. Lincoln Way Central was knocked out of the playoffs in the first round, and just Lockport not making the playoffs this year. What a surprise. That's Lockport suffered a bigger loss this week when the voters in the Lockport Township voted down a referendum to build a second high school. First down and 10, and a handoff goes right up the middle, and it's going to be a first down. That's a nice carry by Stark. Takes it all the way out to the 32-yard line. Brett Kapchak makes the tackle.
Well, he does a great job, Jim, of keeping his feet moving. He was hit. You see, watch after he's hit, but he keeps his feet moving. See, he'll be hit here, and he just keeps his feet moving, spinning, and just keeps his feet moving. That's a great play.
16 yards on the play. It's like watching a tennis match almost. It just keeps going back and forth, and now it's Lincoln Way East turn. 8:42 remaining here in quarter number 3. Stanek keeps it, and he's in trouble, and he'll turn upfield to 32, and he gets absolutely drilled on that play. Dan Kosey comes up and makes the stop.
Boy, he had nowhere to go. Kosey was right there waiting for him.
Be second down and 11.
Watch Kosey. Kosey is right there, brings him down. Boy, he's hit hard. It's going to be a loss of 1.
Stanek in the shotgun, fakes the handoff, has the inside route to Evans. That's a great catch by Evans. Great defense as well. 2 nice plays by the young men involved in that play. It was Michael Banks had the coverage. It's a perfect throw by Stanek. Nice catch by Banks. Great cover, or nice coverage by Banks and great catch by Evans.
Yeah, Evans was right there. Now watch, this is a difficult catch because Banks is right there. Here it is again, quick drop back. But see, that is wonderful coverage. I'm amazed how he caught that ball.
3rd down and 7 coming up for Lincoln Way East. So the Mount Carmel defense, they have yet to force the Griffins to punt in this game. The 2 drives for Lincoln Way East that did not result in scores, they ended in turnovers. Stanek chased out of the pocket and he's sacked all the way back at the 25-yard line, but there's a penalty flag down to the play. Demetrius Carr comes in and makes the tackle, but let's see what the call is.
Well, Carr comes in untouched, Jim.
Chop block on the offense. Penalties declined.
So for the first time in this game, Lincoln Way East will have to punt it away. They will be punting with the wind.
Well, here it is again. Watch Carr. As Carr comes in untouched. Brings him down. First punt of the game for Lincoln Way East.
In to punt for Lincoln Way East is number 42, George Pattison. Butler is deep to receive. Pattison lets it rip, gets off a spiral. Butler will have a chance to return it. Takes it at his own 38. Great coverage downfield by the Griffins. And the ball popped out, but it is dead.
It's dead.
The ball called dead. Butler was ruled down at the 37-yard line.
Yeah, ruled down. But Thompson did what he was supposed to do. Take it to the end zone. They called it back. They called it back. Now here it is, Butler with the catch. And look at it, watch the ball pop off.
Yeah,
he's down.
He was down.
Yeah, no question about being down.
Jay Corbin making a great play on special teams. Now, we saw a spot in the first half where after Lincoln Way East turned it over, where their defense came up absolutely huge. See if they can do that again. Butler on 1st down and 10. He'll hand off. That's Greer up the middle, and absolutely nothing there for Greer as the tackle was made by George Pattison. The ball came out again, but Greer was ruled down.
Down by contact. Boy, nothing but black shirts there when Greer gets that ball. Let's see where they go. Here it is again. I'll hand it off, and boy, he just stopped. Nothing there but black and blue.
They did give him 1 yard on the play, so he has that going for him.
Patterson with the first one to hit him.
But the Lincoln Way East defense coming up big on 1st down. Now 2nd down coming up here. Stanford and Greer in the backfield. Lynch, he'll throw. Flares it out, has Butler. He was wide open, made the catch, and he just tripped and fell at the 45-yard line. He's 2 yards short of the first down.
As he was trying to get his feet together and turn to get to that 1st down marker. Here it is again. He's swinging out to him. Now he's wide open. And see the 1st down marker, and he just stumbles and goes down a couple of yards
I'm going to talk to the truck. Andy, can you show us the guys without the shirts on again? Because they're trying to act like they're not cold, but they're very, very cold.
There they are. Hey, one guy's drinking a soft drink.
That is against the IHSA rules to be shirtless at an IHSA event. Anyway, Butler rolls it out on 3rd down, has a man, has a completion. That's Picard just across midfield at the 48. 1st down and 10 for Mount Carmel. It was Jay Kalhammer who had the coverage.
Boy, great blocking, though. Watch the guys up front. As he rolls out, get 2 guys right there. Great blocking right there before he completes the pass.
That pass was on the money by Lynch. We talked about how accurate Stanek is, and Lynch makes a very nice throw. So Mount Carmel has a 1st down.
Tell you what, Lynch doesn't throw the ball often, but when he does, he's extremely efficient.
I think he throws it a lot better than he's given credit for, too, Kenny. Well, he's so noted for his running, but he throws it pretty well. Here comes the option. Pitch to Greer. He has a block on the outside, turns it upfield. Tripped up. He will go down at the 42-yard line. Ezra Thompson got a piece of him.
Boy, that's a big league tackle there by Thompson. That is a big league tackle by Thompson. Here is the pitch. Right at the last moment, you get the pitch. He gets to turn that corner. Now watch Thompson come into your screen.
Yeah,
right there. That is a big league open field tackle.
And again, the Lincoln Way East defense, their defensive ends are doing a great job of getting penetration and pushing the option into the backfield. but the Mount Carmel runners are just getting around it. 2nd down and 4. Lynch fakes the handoff. He will keep, tries the left side, and just nothing there against the Lincoln Way East defense. It will be 3rd down and 4 coming up. Among those in on the tackle was Eberinga.
And George Patterson once again also in there. We have said Patterson's name an awful lot tonight. He has shown that he can really, really move, Jim. He has a lot of speed. He goes laterally extremely well.
Mount Carmel 3 out of 6 on 3rd down. This is a big down for the Lincoln Way East defense. 3:24 remaining in the 3rd quarter. We're tied at 24. Lynch, he'll drop straight back. Takes a look, flares it out. Picard has it. That's enough for a 1st down at the 32-yard line.
Well, we talked about his throwing. He's very efficient. You say, Jim, he doesn't get the credit because he runs so much, but he's shown here in this series that he can do more than run, that he has an outstanding arm. Here it is again, plenty of time to step into that pocket. And there you see Picard in double coverage. Boy, I tell you, in double coverage, that's tough.
Kyle Hammer had that play covered. He did a nice job. The throw was just right on the money.
Boy, he threw that in double coverage.
1st down and 10 now from the Lincoln Way East 32-yard line. Mount Carmel moving the ball on this drive, trying to take the lead back. They'll give it to Greer. Goes left side. Got past the initial hit, kept the legs churning, takes it down to the 29-yard line. Eberinga in on the stop.
Boy, and Greer, once again, he ran into his own man.
Greer looks like he's got a little hitch in the old get-along there, doesn't he?
Well, I tell you, in a game like this, he'll never come out.
And Rodriguez starting to warm up.
Well, this is pretty good. And it's on a road game, you had the sign that said Go Caravan.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool.
Mount Carmel traveled a few people here tonight. I actually, on my way down here, passed somebody with a Mount Carmel license plate holder, which kind of caught me as strange coming out of Bolingbrook. That's going to be close to another 1st down. Picard coming up and making the catch, but Kylhammer was about the length of a football away from catching that himself and running the other way for 6. Watch this.
Boy, watch Kylhammer right here, number 20. See, he almost, actually, if he steps in front, he has it, but he didn't go for the ball. He went for the man.
It is enough for a Mount Carmel 1st down.
If he goes for the ball, he may have 6.
It shows you how well a defense. Now, granted, Lincoln Way East is giving up some yards in this drive, but look at how close they have been to making big plays. Mount Carmel has had to have nearly perfect execution to move the ball on this Lincoln Way East defense. 1st down and 10. Greer and Stanford in the backfield. Lynch keeps for the moment, pitches to Stanford. He'll turn it upfield. He'll go to the 15-yard line before he's brought down. That's a gain of 7 on the play. 2nd down and 3. Thompson makes the tackle.
Boy, and when you look at Stanford, look at that body on him, Jim. And when they pitch that ball out to him, he doesn't need any blocking. See, watch when they pitch this ball off the fake there. You pitch it to Stanford back out of the option. There's no blocking there. He'll do this all on his own.
I'm going to say this, Kenny. Thompson is one of the better tackling defensive backs we've seen all season.
Well,
agree?
I know, no question about it. He has been all over the field tonight, too.
Mount Carmel goes into a tighter formation here on 2nd down and 3. Lynch will keep, stays on his feet, and
still going.
Still in, delivers a blow, touchdown, Mount Carmel.
How did he get out of there?
Jordan Lynch hit hard a couple of times on his way into the end zone, but he takes it in, and the Caravan back out on top. They lead it 30-24.
I can't believe he got out of there.
16-yard run for a touchdown for Jordan Lynch.
Boy, that was a thing of beauty.
And now Rodriguez comes in to attempt into the wind what is, as the way this game is turning out, a critical extra point.
And look how much time they ran off of the clock.
Inside of a minute now remaining in the 3rd quarter. Rodriguez lets it fly, and he will stay perfect on the night. Mount Carmel leads at 31-24.
Well, if the Caravan wins, if they do, we have a lot of football to be played. I know a lot of people are going to say Jordan Lynch should be player of the game, I'll tell you what,
Yeah,
Rodriguez may get my vote, but
he's been very good.
Here's Lynch. Now he'll go up the middle, bounce off one, bounce, stop, jumps over a defender, knocks some guy out the way, and just gets into the end zone. Here it is again, coming right to your living room. Where is he? Here he is on a bounce, get out the way, watch the shoulder. The Callahan, move. Touchdown, Mount Carmel.
It's kind of play made by somebody who's a senior who had a very disappointing finish to his season last year. Remember Mount Carmel beaten in that semifinal game by Glenbard North. 63 yards in the drive, 5:15 off the clock. Now it's Lincoln Way East's turn.
Boy, this 5:15 off the clock, that is very crucial.
And that drive into the wind. And Lincoln Way East, they will have the win for 53 more seconds. Sawicki and Whittle back to receive again. Now remember, Lincoln Way East, they set up a score late in the first half by getting an outstanding kickoff return. See what Rodriguez does. He'll give a low line drive. That will go through the back of the end zone, and that will be a touchback. And the toughest conference in the state.
No question.
Year. All of these teams not only made the playoffs, they're all still alive. And Frank Lenti was talking about last week, they had to play Naperville Central in the opening round of the playoffs. They were beaten by DuPage Valley teams and knocked out the last 2 years. Wheaton Warrenville South in the semis 2 years ago. Glenbard North in the semis last year. Wheaton Warrenville South in the quarters the year before. Stanek stays alive, gets a completion. Sawicki will take it to the 23-yard line, so it's a gain of 3 after all that, 2nd down and 7. See if Lincoln Way East hurries up to run another play with the win.
Well, yeah, I think you will. You want to try to get one more going with the win before they turn it around. See, I would try to go deep, something fancy.
Yeah, it might not be a bad time to do that, Kenny.
This is going to be your last play of the game with the wind, so why not?
Stanek takes his time, and he will hand off on 2nd down. That's Stark. Got up to the 25-yard line, and then he ran into a brick wall named Jeremy Johnson, thrown back. And it will be 3rd down and 4 after we switch ends and get ready to come back for quarter number 4. Mount Carmel leading Lincoln Way East 31-24 at the end of 3 in this 8A 2nd round game on the CN100 High School Game of the Week.
This fall, the IHSA football playoffs are on My 50 Chicago, Cable 8, starting November 22nd at 7. 2 teams battle for a shot at the championship in an IHSA semifinal. Then, on November 28th and 29th, My 50 carries 8 IHSA championship games. 24 hours of live coverage featuring the best high school teams in Illinois and Chicago. My 50 Chicago, Cable 8, your source for IHSA football.
As a reminder to our viewers, the My 50 IHSA Network semifinal game and the Thanksgiving weekend state championship games can be seen on Comcast Channel 8. Apart from the coverage our IHSA Network friends will be providing, CN100 will be featuring 2 playoff games a weekend for the next 4 weekends right here on Comcast's own CN100. There's a lot of great prep football coming your way this November, and Comcast is proud to partner with the IHSA to showcase the best in Illinois high school sports. 3 out of 5 on 3rd down in the game for Lincoln Way East. They have it on their own 26-yard line. Stanek's pass is tipped and falls incomplete.
Oh, it was tipped.
Nathan Alley got a hand on it.
Here it is again. Watch Alley. You talk about why do you come in with your hands up? Right there. That's the reason why. Nathan Alley with the big hand up.
After not punting at all in the opening half, 2nd punt of this half for Lincoln Way East. And they're going into the wind. And that kick is going to be knocked down by the wind, and it drops down at the 38-yard line. And right away, the Griffins have to cover it. Mount Carmel will have outstanding field position. Eric Schmidt, what do you have for us?
No, Jim, that defensive stance has been key for Mount Carmel, as was the long drive. They're getting a little beat up in the defensive secondary. You guys saw Eddie Antonetti get helped off the field at the end of the first half. He's not on the sideline. He will not be returning in the game. And you just saw Jim Stigowski in that pass play get hit pretty hard. That's the second time today. He's been limping around quite a bit as well. So got to hold up the secondary, especially against this pass attack, guys.
And Lynch, he'll hand it off. Greer takes it. And he'll take it out near the 30-yard line. Good gain on the play. Bring up second down and about 5.
And did you notice the last block was thrown by Lynch? He's out there leading the way.
A critical turn on defense right here for Lincoln Way East. They cannot afford to fall behind by 2 scores with coming up on 11 minutes remaining in the fourth quarter.
Well, that wind just took that punt and knocked it down.
Knocked it right down. Lynch will take a little time. He will turn it upfield, and Greer takes it out to about the 25-yard line. He'll have a first down. He'll move the chains.
Well, the offensive line has really stepped it up for the Caravan in the second half. Here's again, he gives it to Greer. Look at that nice hole right there, Jim. And again, they're going to keep the ball on the ground. They run the ball an awful lot here, and that keeps the clock moving. We're under 11 minutes now with the Caravan on the move.
The clock becomes a little bit critical at this point for Lincoln Way East. Lynch again hands to Greer. He'll try the right side this time. And he'll move the ball downfield about another 5 yards. And it looks like now the Lincoln Way East defense slowing down just a little bit.
A little bit tired.
They need a big play. If they can get the ball back for their offense before Mount Carmel can score, it would be an enormous turn of events for the Lincoln Way East defense. Second down and 5.
For the Caravan, if they go up by 2 scores, Jim, it's going to be very difficult.
Lynch keeps, goes right side, just falls behind his offensive lineman. The pile moves down to about the 15-yard line. It'll be a critical third down coming up.
Well, that's a great call, Jim. He just fell behind his offensive line. He decided, okay, guys, I'm just going to go right behind you. Here it is again. Now watch, off the fake. And so he decides to follow Greer right there. Greer with a nice stand-up block. And Lynch comes in there, but a big third down coming up.
And we are going to get an official's timeout for a moment, as it looks as that Lynch with some sort of an equipment issue with his shoulder.
Shoulder pad, the official helping him out.
This is a very interesting down, because if Lincoln Way East can stop Mount Carmel here, do the Caravan try for a field goal with the win to go up by 2 scores, or might they try for a first down?
Depends on what they get here. If they're short, it won't be by much.
2 yards to go for the first down. Lynch will keep it himself, and we may need a measurement out of this.
And again,
see where they spotted it. Although where the second referee is, it's a yard past the first down marker. It is a first down. Mount Carmel moves the chains.
And again, just Lynch and the quarterback move. See right here, they go, you go Howler, and that's all he needs, a yard for the touchdown.
And the center goes after the linebacker, and Lynch just goes off the opposite hip of where the linebacker is.
And picks up the 1 yard that he needed.
Inside of 9 minutes now remaining here in the fourth quarter. Lynch, he will keep. He goes around the right end, and he just gets... Stanek back to throw, stands in, lets that one go down the sideline. That's complete at the 50-yard line. Down the sideline, Sawicki, no one is going to get him. Touchdown, Lincoln Way East, 80 yards to the score, and just like that, the Griffins are back within 1 score. Muntean lines up in the slot to the left. See if they keep a little extra protection this time. Quarterback draw, step up, throws, and complete over the middle. That is a first down and more, and getting out of bounds. The clock will stop with a move of the chains, but the ball is all the way out after the catch by Muntean to the 39-yard line. 5 men on the line for Mount Carmel. They'll rush 4. Stanek back to throw, buying himself some time, looking for an open man. Nobody is open. It's a race to the 50. Stanek doesn't get there. He's short. 6 seconds left. Mount Carmel will get the ball on down. This is the